All right. So Ashi, you have IIM Lucknow coming up, and let's do mock PI to help you understand your preparation levels and to give you a few pointers as well. So Ashi, why don't you quickly introduce yourself in a couple of minutes?
Sure. So my full name is Ashi Jain. I am from Faridabad in Haryana. I did my BTech in food technology from Jamia Hamdard in 2020. And during my bachelor's degree, I have had the opportunity to pursue internships with multiple prestigious organizations in different domains in order to get a bird's eye view of the industry at large. I have worked at Born, which is a baked good manufacturing plant based in Faridabad, now moved to Ludhiana, as a quality assurance and control trainee. Later, I also had the opportunity to work as an in-plant trainee at Nestle Moga plant, where I worked in the culinary ketchups and sauces department. I have also worked with Del Monte in the new product development team. And as a part of my final year thesis, I have worked at CFTRI Mysore, where I worked on biodegradable packaging materials for food materials. So, also because I was curious to gain a global perspective on the industry, I pursued a brief international global food winter school at Wageningen University in the Netherlands in 2019, which not only gave me a much wider global perspective, but it also gave me, an opportunity to interact with a lot of students studying food from different countries of the world. So apart from that, when I graduated, ever since that I've been working as an academic tutor at Edify classes, and I was also associated with an NGO called The Rising, which works for the welfare and education of children aged 3 to 15 years. And as hobbies, I like to pursue yoga, and I like to travel a lot.
Got it. So Ashi, so you have been a part of the food industry. You've seen food industry. You've studied food industry. Help me understand what are some of the key levers of this industry.
Sir, I would say the first being that the food industry, as we all say it, is the sunshine industry because of the growing demands for food, the growing population, and the ever-changing market scenarios and the consumer needs and preferences. So even if we have enough, we need, we need more variety, and so on and so forth. Also because agriculture has always been one of the most important sector here, because I think because with the growing population and with the median age of our country being around 26, 27 years, and the majority of the population moving from rural to urban areas, a lot of agricultural land being, slashed down for urbanization. I think we have this huge demand always to ensure food security for the country. And I think that is something that even during the pandemic, when the entire country had a net negative GDP, the food industry and the agriculture sector was able to contribute a whopping 7% growth. So I think it suffices to say that as long as man continues to walk on this planet, I think food industry and agriculture will always be in I think demand.
No, I get it. My question was different, Ashi. My question is, what are some of the key levers of this industry? As in, for example, let's say if you say that food industry is growing, okay. So on let's say on the back of what factors, on the top of what factors will this sector grow? What are some of the key drivers of food industry?
Okay. So as I said, one is the demand, which is constantly growing with the growing population. So is one thing that I think is enabling the industry to thrive. And I would say also because we have this new. Can I just have 30 seconds to gather my thoughts? Maybe?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so I have my answer ready. So, like I mentioned, one is the demand, the other is the constantly evolving market scenarios in terms of one the consumer preferences. The initially the market was driven by consumer convenience, but now we also have a health conscious consumer, and then we have the climate hazards which are coming up, and so we need to be constantly on the toes to cater to those demands. So we also have this environment conscious consumer, which is more towards the sustainable aspect of the economy as such. So the industry has to cater to a wide sector, I think, and I think this huge demand and wide, I think, requirement is something that helps it to grow.
Got it. Got it. So I think Ashi, from coming from food setup, uh, do you think an MBA is the next right step for you, or would you want to consider something like a hotel management or a food management kind of a domain to help you further achieve your aspirations?
Sir, I would like to mention that I have been interested in working at a management or a leadership role since I started my graduation in food, and so the internships and the trainings that I have underwent were very meticulously planned to give me an overall bird's eye view, like I mentioned, production and then quality and then research and then product development. And also because I was interested, I took up those leadership roles during the communities and other events at my college. And very recently I have also had the opportunity to lead a team of almost 7 tutors at the place that I was working, at the 5 classes, and most of those were also very senior to me. So it was a privilege, and it was a very huge responsibility that I had, and I think I uh, delivered it well. So my point is that I want to be in management positions and leadership roles, and I think because of my background, a food and agribusiness related management position would be something that I would have more inclination to. Uh, and I think in order to get there, MBA is the right and the wisest way forward.
So you want to do ABM at IIM Lucknow?
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it. All right, Ashi. Okay, so I think fair enough. I have understood about your journey so far and your aspiration as well. Uh, Ashi, let me ask you a simple, commonsensical question, which is a little away from what we have been discussing so far. Okay, so it's a very small puzzle. Okay, let us try and solve this. Okay, so there are 8 balls which look identical, and there is one of them which is heavier than the others. Okay, you have a weighing balance, which is an analog balance, and you have to use that to identify the heavier ball. Okay, so in minimum, how many attempts will you be able to identify the heavier ball?
I will need 3 attempts in minimum.
Okay, tell me how.
So in the first attempt, I'll segregate those into groups of 4, two
Okay,
groups of 4. So whichever one is heavier, I will keep that. And then I will divide those 4 into 2. So whichever one is heavier, I will keep that. And then in the last 2, I will again compare.
can you do this in 2 attempts?
I mm, I think yes, but I am not able to figure out how.
Okay, okay. Ashi, tell me why, IIM Lucknow, you could have done an ABM program at other B schools as well. Why do you think IIM Lucknow is the right place for it?
So I think IIM Lucknow has this, approach of promoting a global ethos, management, and that is, like I had mentioned, I was, after I had gauged a suitable, substantial, I would say, amount of awareness about food tech for an undergrad student. I became very curious as to what is the scenario at the global level, and so I took up that opportunity at the Wageningen University, and so this desire and this curiosity persists still at the business level, and I think IIM Lucknow will be able to provide me with that. And needless to say, IIM Lucknow is one of the most premier institutes in the country. So
Okay, Ashi, what's the motto of IIM Lucknow, and how do
uh,
you think do you align with that motto?
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Okay, who's the director of IIM Lucknow? Okay, all right. Ashi, I think let's close it here. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
All right. So let's cut to the feedbacks. Ashi, I think the first part was good. My suggestion to you will be you can shorten your introduction a little. Obviously, you
Okay.
should talk about your foreign experience. That's a major highlight. Maybe you can cut a few things which you feel that for example, the hobby part, or so, or maybe make the answer a little precise because you went on for a little long. Okay, slight, but I thoroughly enjoyed your introduction. I really liked your introduction, and hence I did not interrupt. Otherwise, I would have interrupted. Okay. So it was a good introduction, free flowing and very, very structured. So it not seem awkward. But if you can make it a little precise, maybe like 10 seconds or 15 seconds would be great. So that's the first
Okay.
thing. I think your research on IIM Lucknow is not complete. I think you should spend the day, understand what's the motto, who's the dean, or who's the director, who are some of the notable faculties. I think we've discussed this already as well in our sessions. What are some of the clubs and committees? I think in Why IIM Lucknow, you can talk about all these aspects that we have discussed in one of our sessions as well, right? Make the people or make the panel aware that you have done your due diligence, and it's not that you're just saying that IIM Lucknow is a premier institute, so are others, which basically means that when you are specific, it shows that you are interested and you've done your research. Also shows you are someone who's always prepared. So I think these are some attributes which you can highlight from your answers. So I
Okay.
think that aspect is not there. Okay. Suprabandhe Rashtra Samriddhi. That's the motto of IIM Lucknow. Better management towards better nation. Okay. So that's the motto. Learn about values, vision, mission of IIM Lucknow. If there is some value that you align with, you can talk about it. Okay, you can talk about what are the clubs and committees that you would want to associate to as part of IIM Lucknow. I think these are some of the angles that you should have a look at. I think apart from that, only one place where I think you swayed was I was asking you levers, you went into some direction, you gave general gyan. Okay, so listen to the question very, very carefully. If you're not very clear with the question, you can rephrase the question. So for example, sir, in my understanding, what you're trying to understand, or what you're trying to ask is the key levers or the key drivers of food industry. Is my understanding correct? So then they will be like, yes. And then you don't solve a wrong problem. If you solve a wrong problem, your answer will always be wrong. Okay, no matter if your logic is right or not. So I think that is something you should do. So you start an answer and then you take 30 seconds to structure it. it's better you take some 10 seconds to think about it and then you give an answer rather than stopping in the middle of the answer and then asking for time. Okay, because that shows a little unstructured approach. Okay, तो पहले ही टाइम मांग लो आप 10 सेकंड अगर आपको चाहिए और फिर आप एक फ्लो में आंसर बताओ, बिकॉज वो पॉइंट भी छूट जाता है जो आपने पहले बोला था. ठीक है, तो आई थिंक दीज आर सम ऑफ द पॉइंटर्स. ओवरऑल आशी, गुड कम्युनिकेशन, गुड प्रेजेंटेशन, स्ट्रक्चर ऑल्सो, these are some of the pointers which you should work, and I'm sure you should be able to crack it.
Thank you. And about that balls question, was my answer correct?
It can be done in 2 attempts, Ashi.
Okay.
Do you want an answer?
Sure. Okay,
so let me tell you how. Okay, so you can use the balance. In the first attempt you place 3 and 3. Okay, so there are 2 cases here. First case, one of them goes down, which means that the 3 balls that are there, one of them is the heavier. Now out of these 3, you pick any 2 and you wait. So either it goes down or it stays equal. In either of the cases, you will know which is the heavier ball. So done in 2 attempts. Now back to the other case. What's the other case? You place 3 and 3 and you figured out that none of them goes down, which means that the 2 sides are equal, which means that you have 2 balls there. In the second attempt, you place the 2 balls in the balance, one of them goes down, and you know that that's the ball that you are looking for. So in either of these cases, you get to identify it in 2 attempts. So 2 attempts is the best that you can do for this. Okay,
really weak at maths.
No, I think it's okay. I think the approach matters. Sometimes we are not looking for right answers as well. Okay, how do you approach the problem is something which is more important. I think yes. So this is it from my side. Wish you all the very best. I think you will do well. Okay, all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Bye bye.